From a late-night radio station in Carmel, California, it's the IGN Digigods. Please welcome two guys who won't play Misty for me, Wade Major and Mark Kaiser.
Corey and his sophomore effort. Very proud of you, Corey. Another listener-supplied opening, one of those new ones. Corey, why don't you go ahead and tell us who that special person is?
That was written by Tav Rainey. God bless his heart.
Yeah.
You know, go on the Facebook page and tell us what you think of Corey.
Yeah.
And I'm confident that I can say
yes.
that.
Yes.
Because I know you love him.
Did you read Corey's comment on the Ken Russell thing?
I did not.
It's really funny. No, Corey, because Corey said I had commented that either hell or heaven is a little bit crazier than it was right now with the passing of Ken Russell. And Corey said, I like to think that God keeps him waiting in a lobby for 2 hours and then tells him it's not happening. And for those who don't get that, there was Ken Russell was in town briefly for some screenings at the American Cinematheque and then to promote a film or promote a retrospective, and we were supposed to interview him at his hotel in Santa Monica and put that on to Stupid for Movies. And I went down there with Corey and a full crew. And Barry and everybody. I mean, we had a full crew. It was ready to do the interview, and Corey got there, and he was, Corey was producing the segment, and he called up, and it was like Ken answered the phone and said, "Go away," and hung up and wouldn't come down. It never happened. The publicist apologized and said it was a tough night last night. It was really hard. He wanted to fly back to England immediately. It was
every night is tough when you're Ken Russell.
Yes.
He is crazy.
Anyway, straighten your microphone out there, Mark.
What?
Straighten your microphone a little bit. More directional.
Oh, you mean like this?
Like that.
How come I am very close to the mic, whereas you are farther away?
I don't know. You like to eat your mic.
I'm eating it because you're asking me to.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's good. Speaking of eating, why don't we... We always talk about cooking on this show, so never DVDs, so we might as well talk about some cooking DVDs, right?
Sure. Oh, what is that one?
This is Cooking with Lydia. Mark, you ever heard of Lydia?
The only Lydia I know was the famous Marx Brothers song.
I want you to read Lydia's name, because I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Go ahead. Read her name. We're struggling with this. This is going to be a great show. By the way,
I would like to read to you.
By the way, next week, holiday show. Next week's the big holiday show.
Is that right? I did not know that.
Yeah, we're doing the big holiday show next week. All kinds of great, fabulous, wonderful things to recommend for you in the holidays. Box sets, Christmas DVDs, Hanukkah DVDs, Kwanzaa DVDs. I don't know if we're going to get any of the latter, but we might.
Now, instead of talking about Lydia, can I read the lyrics to Lydia the Tattooed Lady by the Marx Brothers?
You could, for starters. Why not?
Lydia, oh Lydia, that encyclopedia. Oh Lydia, the queen of tattoo.
Yeah,
On her back is the Battle of Waterloo. Beside it, the wreck of the Hesperus too, and proudly above waves the red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot from Lydia because she's tattooed.
Oh my god.
That's the point. Look this up. By the way, it's on YouTube. You can see Groucho performing this song, Lydia the Tattoo Lady.
That's fabulous.
A great song, which has nothing to do with Lydia Matachio. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. That's not funny.
Okay, these well, Mark works on it. These are from PBS Home Video.
Matachio Bastianich. Oh, I got Bastianich.
It's a good try. I don't know if that's right or not. Anyway, she's just known as Lydia. There's a reason, Lydia, Lydia. This is from PBS Home Entertainment. And, Lydia makes some good dishes. Never in a million years will I be able to pronounce her name. But just know that this is the best of Lydia pasta. Now, there's going to be a long, ongoing series of these. I love pasta. I shouldn't love it as much as I do. I try to eat whole wheat pasta or rice pasta or egg pasta or something that's not quite as horrible for you as the white pasta. But it's awfully good. And apart from the shrimp stuff on here, I think it's all wonderful.
You don't like shrimp?
Not really.
Really?
No.
Who are you? Shrimp. Everything with shrimp is good. The end. What is bad that has shrimp in it?
Shrimp?
Shrimp has shrimp in it.
Yes, it does.
I'll have to test that theory someday. You're saying that you don't like shrimp scampi, you don't like...
No.
You don't like shrimp cocktail?
No.
Really?
No.
What is wrong with you?
The only shrimp I've ever liked, believe it or not...
is Billy Barty.
No. Are those... I know his family. I know Billy Barty's peeps. They're good peeps. I was at his funeral. You know that. Did you not know that?
I did not know that.
I was at Billy Barty's funeral, yeah. It was a lovely, lovely service. It was great. Anyway, no, the Best of Lydia Pasta has all kinds of stuff on it that does include shrimp. By the way, as I was just saying, the only shrimp I ever used to like, and I'm sure I wouldn't like it now, were those disgusting deep-fried shrimp that you used to get at Sizzler. All you could eat.
No. You know why? Because that was all breading.
Yeah.
There's very little actual shrimp. In most fried shrimp dishes, there's very little shrimp involved.
Tastes like wet styrofoam to me.
Well, it should taste like crunchy styrofoam. That's the point.
Yeah.
But don't eat. No, get your. You know what? Go to Mastro's.
Yeah.
If you go to Mastro's, the steakhouse in Beverly Hills, there's a bunch of them, but the one I go to is in Beverly Hills. The shrimp cocktail there is just nothing but enormous, gigantic, unadorned little commas of shrimp.
That's great. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say that one reason to get this is because she's got an amazing... There are several macaroni and cheese options here, but I got to tell you...
Oh, my God. Can I tell you what I had in New York?
You're not going to let me... We're going to spend the whole show on Lydia.
You
Great macaroni and cheese. And some really good... There's really good pesto stuff on here.
No one cares. All right, so what was I saying? Okay, so I'm in New York.
Yes.
I go to the James Hotel.
Right.
Now, the James Hotel is this new trendy whatever hotel in Soho on Grand Street. Yep. And they have a rooftop bar, whatever. They have a restaurant there.
Of course.
That is run by one of these celebrity chefs. I don't know. I don't know how these people become celebrity chefs. I guess because they cook good food. I don't know. Whatever. I go to this restaurant, and it's Sunday. Just this past Sunday, 2 days ago, whatever. And they had, as the Sunday special, lobster mac and cheese.
Oh, gross.
It was evil. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was just rich, decadent, bubbling mac and cheese with breadcrumbs on top and 5 very generous little pieces, or not, they're not very little,
nasty.
But 5 generous pieces of lobster. And it was unbelievably good. Do you eat crab? You don't eat crab.
No, I don't. If it comes from the ocean, I don't eat ocean stuff.
You don't eat fish?
No.
You do not eat fish?
No.
Was that true?
No.
Why not?
It's always ocean stuff.
It's fish.
Fish, shrimp, crab.
You would not eat a salmon. Just your typical...
I've had smoked salmon. It's okay.
But
it's not like it's pheasant or duck or anything.
What meat do you eat?
Birds.
But okay, so birds fly and poop on your car. Why is that any better than swimming in the ocean?
It tastes good.
So does fish.
No, it doesn't. It tastes fishy. Anyway, speaking of that, apart from the fishy stuff on Lydia Celebrates America, she's apparently been on PBS forever. I'd never seen her before until these DVDs came in. She goes all out. Christmas, Chinese New Year, and Passover. She goes crazy just trying to get all these holiday traditions in, and to do these traditional American dishes, and really some very interesting stuff. A lot of it I wouldn't eat if you put a gun to my head, but honestly,
because there's fish.
No, you know
that
what?
Evil fish.
Honestly, you would love this. There's she goes to Manhattan for Passover, and there's some really good stuff there, Mark. Really good. Some good Passover food here. The Chinese New Year stuff, I was mixed on, but you know what? Honestly, it's there's a lot. This is kind of fun. It's a little bit of a travel log and some good dishes here. I prefer the pasta DVD though. The pasta DVD totally rocks.
Wade, can we talk about something better?
Yes, we can. You love this movie, so you can talk about it. I'll let you go off.
Cave of Forgotten Dreams. What's interesting about this is that it is a 3D Blu-ray, which is kind of one of the first Blu-rays, 3D Blu-rays
of a documentary,
not from a major studio. Usually, the 3D Blu-rays are always the big animated films.
Yeah, and I mean there have been a few of these.
A couple docs.
There've been a few of these IMAX
these
3D things,
ones,
and Space and Nature. But this is like a real documentary, theatrically released in 3D, and Werner Herzog kind of, Tim actually made a good comment about this. I still don't think this thing needed to be in 3D. I don't think anything needs to be in 3D, really, apart from, stupid horror films. But Tim was like, he said, I can excuse this movie for 3D because, seriously, when am I going to be in the cave?
That's
I thought
true.
that was a good point.
That's true. The Werner Herzog has there's two sides to his career now. He does the fiction films, and he's also become a very good documentarian.
Yes, he has.
And in Cave of Forgotten Dreams, which is great, he finds this. He doesn't find it, but he explores it and brings us along. These cave paintings that are 30,000 years old.
Is that all?
Yes, and they know it's 30,000 years old because there's one cave drawing of Henny Youngman saying, "Take my cave wife." That wasn't funny.
That was good. No, that was good.
Yeah,
that was good. It worked.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
Okay.
Okay. These caves are 30,000 years old.
Sure.
And if there is a movie that's going to be on 3D or a documentary on 3D,
sure.
I buy this one because, like Tim says, it's a great way to experience what these caves looked like.
Isn't it interesting too that the first two major documentaries to be documentaries in 3D are both by friends and colleagues and longtime pioneers of the new German cinema movement, Werner Herzog and Wim Wenders? Because Wim Wenders just did Pina in 3D, which is out right now or opens next week. When is it?
Which I have not seen yet. Have you seen it?
I have seen it.
Is it good?
It is good. I don't know that it needed to be in 3D either, but it is good. It's it's a tribute to a great choreographer, and the movie is basically just a series of very kind of surrealistically choreographed dance tributes set in strange locations. It's interesting.
Well, I cannot vouch for that because I have not seen it, but I have seen Cave of Forgotten Dreams, and it is quite good.
All right, bravo.
It's, by the way, the Blu-ray that's 2D and 3D is on that Blu-ray, not just the 3D.
Jerry Seinfeld, comedian, previously out. This is a Miramax film, and it was off the market for a while, as was the entire Miramax library. Now with the Echo Bridge deal, it is back out again. And I actually like this. I'm glad it's back out again, directed by Christian Charles, rather capably. This was Jerry Seinfeld kind of going back out on the road after the show went off the air and getting back to his roots. And you know what? It's a very, very insightful film into what goes on behind the scenes of the life of a stand-up comic. Even though in this case you're talking about a stand-up who is so massively successful. It's not,
Not buying it.
Not buying it?
No, there's the part of the problem with the film is that in the movie they also follow a rising comic, this guy named Orny Adams.
Yeah, true.
And so part of the film is the Orny Adams rising star thread of it, which is totally uninteresting to me.
I agree, it's uninteresting
and the
not
other
very
part,
not very insightful.
Correct. And the other part is the Seinfeld stuff, which is kind of good. He has an interesting conversation with Bill Cosby at the end,
but not representative. It's just it's a look at him, candid, unmasked.
Yeah,
unplugged.
You like this film more than I do.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I don't love it. I like Seinfeld as a person.
You love it. You'd marry it if you could.
Yes, maybe
Comedian.
I would. On the trail of the Hollywood Indian in Real Engine. Now, this is spelled REELINJUN, the most, meant to be a pun and a little bit stereotypical at the same time. That's the irony of it. Real Engine. This is obviously not going to appeal to everybody, but it is a documentary that kind of looks at the history of how the movies have portrayed Native Americans. And that's something we don't think about too often, actually, because, Native Americans originally didn't actually play Native Americans. And we think about blackface and we think about yellowface, but nobody really thinks about redface, which was a fact for a long time. And in fact, Iron Eyes Cody, remember Iron Eyes Cody? We all was like, he's the pollution and the tear in the eye on the commercials and the whole thing. Don't pollute America. Oh my gosh. Iron Eyes Cody was Italian.
That's right. And by the way, that didn't come out until years later.
I know.
In fact, relatively recently that came out.
I know. It's incredible. It's just incredible. But anyway, fascinating documentary. Clint Eastwood is interviewed in here. A lot of Native Americans themselves are. Adam Beach, Wes Studi. It's really quite a good film and put together very nicely. So if you are so inclined, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's worth checking out. Another doc that I cannot recommend highly enough is These Amazing Shadows, the movies that make America. This was at the Sundance Film Festival earlier this year. It is absolutely spectacular. It is wonderful. It will just enthrall you. It doesn't last long enough. It is a scant 88 minutes, and it's just not long enough. Basically, it's all about the films from the National Film Registry that have, what are we, 10 years into that now? 10 or 11 years into the National Film Registry, which was started to preserve historically and culturally significant films. There's always been a lot of debate as to why we can't just sort of preserve all of them, why we have to sort of make this list that, where we're only picking and choosing a few films every year when, in fact, there are hundreds of films that are at risk of vanishing forever every year that we're not moving fast enough. But I figure, you know what, better than nothing. It at least lights a fire under a few people to get going. The National Film Registry has a lot of weird, eclectic stuff on it and a lot of great classics, and it's really a nice snapshot of what really have made us. I mean, when it says the movies that make America, it's pretty true. It's on Blu-ray. You have to get it on Blu-ray. Don't watch it on anything else. It's just really a beautifully done thing. Another really great feather in the cap for PBS. They overdid themselves. They outdid themselves this time. It is just lovely.
The Amazing Shadows, says Wade.
These Amazing Shadows.
He's on board. Also from PBS, I'm on board with The Fabric of the Cosmos. This is one of those
like the New York Cosmos, the old North American Soccer League team?
Yes.
Totally.
And Pele played for that team.
He did, and so did Giorgio Chinaglia.
Who's
Chinaglia.
That? Whatever. Who's that?
Yeah.
Final score 1-0. So what I think this is terrific, Fabric of the Cosmos, because it asks the type of questions that just make you go, whoa. Really heady stuff. But this guy, Brian Greene,
he's no
who's
Carl
an
Sagan.
author, billions and billions. This guy, Brian Greene, he's terrific. He's funny, and he's a great writer. And there's some really heady questions about time. What is time? Why does it only go forward? Is it one universe or multiverse, or what is space? Does it go on forever? Really heady questions, but the way he asks them and the way he dives into them, really interesting stuff. Really well done. It's not. But I mean, it's scholarly, but it's not dry.
Good Blu-ray, good high def.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. You know what? Because there's a lot of graphics as you're flying through the universe, whatever.
Yeah.
So there's good stuff. But the Fabric of the Cosmos is really interesting stuff.
Nice.
Says me.
Very good. There's another Blu-ray from PBS. This is from the Nature series called Jungle Eagle. No, this is not. You know what? Gorgeous photography, but I'm kind of creeped out by the bird itself. I got to tell you. You ever heard of the harpy eagle, Mark?
Sure.
What do you know about harpy eagles? Okay, nothing. Obviously, these are eagles that you found in the rainforest, and I find them actually kind of creepy and disturbing. And I didn't really enjoy watching this just because my idea of an eagle is not a harpy.
It's like
eagle.
Don Henley.
It's not a harpy eagle. It's exactly.
Don Henley.
Sure, totally.
You get it?
Or
there was
like
a band.
Yeah, or like a football player from Philadelphia.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Anyway, very well done, but the birds kind of creep me out. They're like if Polanski had cooked up a bird, this is what it would look like. Yeah, but anyway, so it's like they're freaky birds, man. It's a nature documentary.
If Polanski cooked up a bird, that's what it would look like.
Absolutely.
I don't know what that means.
Neither do I. And then we got American Restoration Volume 1 from the History Channel via new video. This guy Rick Dale, who runs Rick's Restorations in Las Vegas, his whole deal here, if you haven't seen the show, is to find junk and basically polish it up. And it's anything. I mean, there's no end to what he polishes up. And he's extremely gifted. He finds a lot of just absolutely useless, rusty, bent, completely dilapidated old crap. And by the time he's done with it, it's like pristine and shiny, and somebody would probably pay money for it. So, I mean, the craft of it is interesting. It's just, like the old pinball machines and whatnot. I don't know that I'm interested so much in the stuff, more in the process. So make up your own mind. 2-DVD set. Not Blu-ray, just DVD. Just regular old DVD.
Which I have no interest in anymore.
No, I don't either.
I don't want DVDs anymore.
I don't either.
Only Blu-rays.
Yep, I agree with you. All right, Mark, why don't you sort out the TV, and I'm going to blow real quickly through a bunch of compilation sets that aren't that interesting, but people should know that they're out there.
So
they're interesting. I don't want to denigrate them, but it's...
So you want me to do something? What do you mean sort them? They're here in a pile in front of me. They are now sorted.
Sort through what we got to.
Would you like me to make them alphabetical for you?
No, there's some priority stuff in here. I know stuff you're more fond of than I am, and stuff that you hate, like Meet the Browns, which you probably aren't going to want to talk about. So while you kind of cull that, I'm going to talk to people about some of these compilation sets. Don't throw paper at me. That's not nice. Another Roger Corman Cult Classics double feature. This is actually interesting because these are not films from the Golden Corman period. This is, relatively recent within the last, 25 years or so, 25 years. You know what? Angel in Red and Streets. The only thing that is interesting about this, I would say particularly Streets, is it's got a very, very young Christina Applegate in it. Otherwise, this is kind of gritty 90s era, late 80s era exploitation stuff. And, whatever. It's... That's kind of not a golden era of exploitation film, but it's okay. These two films have a following. They're not great, but they're for genre fans, I guess they're okay. What's even better are a couple of really terrific compilations, courtesy of the good people at Inception. They are two tribute collections to Kirk Douglas and to Zsa Zsa Gabor. The Zsa Zsa Gabor set is probably more important because most people don't really realize that Zsa Zsa Gabor was something other than just a crazy old lady who slaps cops and it keeps going back and back and back to the hospital. And
I know.
How many times has she been on her deathbed?
Oh, she's in her 90s.
It's just so tragic.
After what? Here's the thing.
It's just, she's had a leg amputated, and it's awful. At this point, there's no dignity left in her life.
I don't know. Here's the thing. It's easy for us to say when you're that age, you may just want to go, look, my quality of life is so horrible that just put me out of my misery. But you know what? On the other hand, if that happens, you're dead. So maybe if you can just hang on long enough to have another couple good meals, eke out another couple months, wouldn't you rather do that than die?
I know. Well, anyway, she was, of course, one of the three Gabor sisters who were kind of like the Kardashians of their day, if you think about it, although so much cooler than the Kardashians. Eva Gabor, of course, famous for Green Acres, among other things, and then Magda, who was not really as popular as the others. But anyway, the three Gabor sisters were all the rage back in the 1940s and 50s and even into the 60s. People loved them, and I loved them, and I thought they were great. Zsa Zsa less than Eva. Eva was always my speed. She was funnier. But anyway, the fabulous Hungarian Gabor sisters, Zsa Zsa, this is all about her, and it's got some terrific TV appearances on here from the Milton Berle Show in 1950, and even a couple of feature-length films, which are not very good. They're kind of cults like Frankenstein's Great Aunt Tilly from 1984, and Mooch Goes to Hollywood from 1971, certainly long past her golden era. But then there's some film trailers from the 50s and all the way through the 90s. It's, it's kind of culled together from public domain stuff mainly, but it's, there's not much out there for Zsa Zsa, so I think that's great. And then there's this Kirk Douglas set, which is pretty great. Now, the transfers are not sparkling, but you do get 5 feature films in here and some television stuff, like from the Colgate Comedy Hour and the Jack Benny Show. And the movies include The Strange Love of Martha Ivers, My Dear Secretary, The Big Trees, Catch Me a Spy, and The Master Touch, which is pretty terrific. So that much is really nice, and it's a tribute to the guy, and he's still kicking. There's a guy who just will not go away, man. Kirk Douglas. He's awesome. He's like 90-something too, isn't he?
See, he's awesome. Well, he was on stage. He did a one-man show in Culver City.
Yeah.
A few months ago.
Yeah.
Maybe like a year ago. And he did that, and he was 90 years old.
Totally.
God love him.
And then we got a horror cinema, 25 features here. This is one of those massive compilations from Echo Bridge. Most of this stuff is just straight up schlock, but there are some classics on here like The Terror and A Bucket of Blood, both of which are really great Roger Corman films. We spoke about Corman earlier. I Bury the Living is a good, memorable classic. The Gorilla from 1939 is just this bizarre, weird thing, The Devil Bat. A lot of these are available widely in public domain releases, and some of the more obscure stuff, The Sphinx from 1933, Werewolf in a Girl's Dormitory is a great 60s era schlocker. House on a Haunted Hill, of course, 58, another Vincent Price classic. So, you can't go wrong with this if you just want something to run in the background during a party. Really pretty great release. And then a bunch of Blu-ray compilations. They're all Miramax multi-features from Echo Bridge. Go through this real quickly. The 4 Wes Craven Presents Dracula films, which is basically Dracula 2000, Dracula 2, Dracula 3, and They. Then we've got, these are all Blu-rays, by the way, the Children of the Corn multi-feature. This is Children of the Corn 3, 4, 5, and Children of the Corn 666, Isaac Returns. Obviously, 1 and 2 not here because they're not in the Miramax library. So get those separately and then get this one. You're loaded up. The Prophecy Uprising and the Prophecy Forsaken. The Prophecy series, not bad. You know, they kind of wedge in there. They're okay. Hellraiser Bloodline, Hellraiser Inferno, Hellraiser Hellseeker, and Hellraiser Hellworld. Again, the original Hellraiser, not in this. But if you want to kind of be completist about it, you got 4 of the films from the series in one set. This I'm very mixed on. These are 4 Jackie Chan films, which are dubbed, and I hate the Miramax dubbed versions of these, so I don't recommend these except to people who feel okay like with the dubbing and don't think they're missing anything, which you are. This is Project A 1 and 2 and Operation Condor 1 and 2, which is actually originally called The Armor of God, and then Armor of God 2, Operation Condor. Here it was all renamed Operation Condor and Operation Condor 2 just to sound more Indiana Jonesy. Transfers are very mediocre there. And then Dusk Till Dawn, Dusk Till Dawn 2, Dusk Till Dawn 3, and Full Tilt Boogie. The whole Dusk Till Dawn epic odyssey is right there on Blu-ray. These are all perfectly fine in terms of transfer, except for the Operation Condor and Project A films. That leaves something to be desired. Dusk Till Dawn is a decent transfer. The Dracula film's decent transfer. But what you're looking at here is pretty much, just getting these full series, the full compilation action on Blu-ray. And again, state-of-the-art Blu-ray, not really, but much better than what you would get with a DVD, and certainly enough to satisfy fans.
Wow, Wade, blowing through the Miramax multi-film Blu-rays.
I'm telling you. Dude, it's not like, look, we're in screener hell right now just for LAFCA as well. So there's not a lot of time in our lives.
We really are.
It's obnoxious.
Oh, you know what?
Are those emails driving you crazy?
Here's what happens.
It's unbelievable.
About 2 weeks before the LA Film Critics vote for...
Everything was quiet until 24 hours ago.
I know.
And then it was just like the Pandora's box opened.
That's right.
All the bats from hell came flying out.
That's right. Because what happens is we're going to vote. There's about 45 members of the group. We're going to vote for our year-end awards, Best Picture, Best Actor,
We've got 10 days
Director.
left.
We got 10 days left.
Yeah.
So now
10 days to see like 30 films.
And this
I don't know
always
how
happens.
the hell I'm going to do this.
Emails start flying.
Oh my
About
gosh.
one every 15, one every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
For about like an 8-hour day.
Yeah.
Where everybody starts recommending films, giving publicity contacts where you can get a screener sent if you haven't seen that film.
Well,
and it's not like you should contact Warner Brothers to go see J. Edgar. No. It's you should contact this little teeny-weeny publicist who lives in a doghouse in Camarillo so that you can see the 5-hour Armenian documentary on throat yodeling that is just brilliant. And these sorts of recommendations go back and forth for 10 days.
It's everyone pumping their underdogs is what it is. Everybody in the group. It's a group of what are we about 60 people now?
No, it's about 45 to 50.
We're about 45. I mean, we're going to have about 30 voting members there. So we'll have about 30 people in the room, and it gets pretty volatile. And everybody knows each other, and everyone starts pumping their underdogs. And the thing is, look, come on, seriously. Some of these films, some of these underdogs, you're not going to, in 10 days left, you're not going to be able to pump it enough with enough members for it to make a difference. That you might get a few votes in the room, and you take like a Pyrrhic victory out of going, oh my gosh, my little film, 7 people voted for it, but it doesn't get an award. The major stuff is you got to see. And I'm looking at my list. I got 10 days left, and I have at least 12 major films to see in the next 10 days. In addition to everything else I do, in addition to all the DVDs, in addition to all the Blu-rays, in addition to screenings and some events, and some deadlines for some work. How the hell am I going to do that? And why on earth would I want to see the throat yodeling documentary, like squeeze that in there on the off chance that it might? No, I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen.
Very little of those, by the way, very little of what you mentioned do you get paid for.
It's really true. Welcome to our world.
Just want to say
Mark, tell us about TV.
Oh, well, television, it's this magical box.
Yeah.
Where you, okay. I'll quit while I'm behind on that one. All right, here's some TV. Mission Impossible. Now, wait, this is not the Mission Impossible TV show with Leonard Nimoy and Barbara Bain.
Nor is it the new movie with Tom Cruise that they're not even using his face to advertise it. Have you noticed that? Have you seen the commercials on television?
No. They use his face more. Oh, not on. I haven't seen the commercials.
Can't even see Tom Cruise.
Really?
No.
It's very funny because, that was very controversial when they did that on Night and Day.
Yeah.
The one he did with Cameron Diaz,
Yeah.
where the one sheet did not include his face.
Well, that's what
and
they're
that
doing
was
now.
considered some sort of nod to the fact that he's older and not doesn't mean as much to younger audiences. Anyway, this is Mission Impossible, the 1988 TV season. Now, in 1988, Mission Impossible was brought back. They brought back Peter Graves to play Jim Phelps.
Brought him out of the grave?
Yes.
His wife runs the classification and ratings administration, you know.
That's right, Joan Graves.
That's right, Joan Graves. The woman who is responsible for movies being rated PG, R, PG-13, that's Peter Graves' wife.
Now, what's interesting about this series is that this series premiered in 1988 almost during the writer's strike. And what happened was, during the writer's strike, you couldn't write any new original material. So what they did was they...
James Arness was his brother, you know that.
Yes. Just
James Arness. So Marshall Matt Dillon's sister-in-law rates movies. Just saying. Go on, finish.
So to launch this series, they actually took scripts from the old Mission Impossible series and updated them.
That's lame.
That's how they launched this show. Now, not all the scripts wound up being updates. You know, eventually the writer's strike was resolved and everything was fine. But it's not a terrible show. It's Mission Impossible.
Lame.
30 Rock season 5.
This show's getting a little bit frenetic. Have you noticed that?
Well, I just love Alec Baldwin. He's the greatest,
I do too,
he's the greatest of all time.
It's almost like this is starting to get almost more a Family Guy. It's really fragmented and everything's moving a little bit faster, and I'm not sure I like that. But anyway, carry on.
Bonus features, audio commentary with a bunch of guest stars, including Val Kilmer, John Hamm, deleted scenes, good stuff. I just love this show because every time Alec Baldwin shows up at anything,
it makes you laugh.
It's just the best. He's
makes
the best.
me laugh.
He's the best. The end.
But they got to be careful. They're going to lose their spark.
Well, that's
got to keep it fresh. Got to keep it fresh.
Well, that's like, for instance, I love Family Guy, but I think Family Guy is running out of steam. I think it's finally running out of steam. And The Simpsons ran out of steam years ago.
It ran out of steam like 10 years ago.
And what's funny because with the
Simpsons,
you're getting, the people who write The Simpsons now
grew up
on The Simpsons,
I know,
which
bizarre.
I find very strange.
Yeah.
No, wait, Doctor Who. Kids love the Doctor Who.
I know.
I don't get it. So when I checked out the complete 6th series from the good folks at BBC, whatever. Matt Smith.
I know.
Do you like Doctor Who?
You know what?
It's like the young Doctor Who.
I don't seem to agree with anybody on the young Doctor Who's. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, he's so good. Nah, whatever. Matt Smith's okay. I want an older guy to be Doctor Who again. I really do. Like Ben Kingsley. Make him Doctor Who. Gary Oldman. We're going to talk about him in a moment. Make him Doctor Who. Something. Give me a doctor who looks like he's been, who could have a PhD. Give me a doctor who looks like a freaking doctor. Now, this is the complete 6th series from BBC America, or BBC if you watch it in the UK. Matt Smith's okay, I guess. This is kind of a big deal, the 6th season. It's got a lot of really cool stuff in it. And, Let's Kill Hitler. I know a lot of people really, really like that one. Sure, why not? The Impossible Astronaut. Who I actually really like in this, Alex Kingston, I think is really sharp. But anyway, there it is. That's the complete 6th series. It's the production values are much higher than the Doctor Who we grew up with. So those Tom Baker years and all that. So fine, fair enough.
Wade, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Ah, yes, let's talk about this. Because this is the original Alec Guinness television production, which is, 4 or 5 hours long? It's pretty long.
It's only 324 minutes, Wade.
Yeah, that's longer than I thought.
Well, it's almost like a miniseries.
It is a miniseries.
Like an old school TV miniseries. It's 6 episodes. That was shown, I think, over X number of weeks.
The reason this is being released now, or re-released, because this has been out before, is because, as many people know, the new movie is coming out with Gary Oldman playing Smiley as opposed to Alec Guinness. And you haven't seen the new one, have you?
I just got the screener in the mail today.
I like the new one. I think I like the Alec Guinness better, even though it doesn't have as flashy production value. This is directed by Tomas Alfredson, who did was Let the Right One In, right? Alfredson did the original Let the Right One In.
Yes.
And his brother directed the sequel to Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the second one, which was the girl with the ice chest in her closet.
The dragon, the hornet's nest, the girl who kicked the girl who
wore us out with too many movie titles. Anyway, it's interesting. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy is a really, really, really good Le Carré novel. It's a really good novel. I think the ideal adaptation is somewhere between the miniseries and the movie, because the movie is really stylish and very smart and really well acted and very professional and very cinematic and very intellectual and cerebral and paced very deliberately. This has lower production value, but I feel like this is more faithful to the nuances and the really kind of a Cold War mentality to it.
By a function of being 300 minutes, I mean, there's so much more of the novel they can fit in.
I feel like neither one of them really nails it. I probably prefer this, but I feel like somewhere between the two, and they complement each other. I'm not going to pick one over the other necessarily, but I would say watch this one first, and then you'll probably enjoy the movie a little bit more, believe it or not.
It's great stuff. I mean, Alec Guinness is just great. He was a little older here. This was before Star Wars?
No.
No, this is after Star Wars.
This is well after Star Wars.
This is 79.
Yeah.
So, he's great.
Yeah.
I think this is terrific. I mean, the movie again I haven't seen, but
and this actually didn't air here, I don't think, until like early '80s. I mean, I remember seeing this. I mean, I may have seen it on a second run, but I remember seeing it quite some time after Star Wars. So anyway, Mark, you are more qualified than anyone on the planet to talk about that right there. And I just want you to know that lenticular cover freaks me out. I've been staring at it all week. I can't wait to get rid of it. That freaks me the hell out.
The Girls Next Door is available in a box set, complete series, 6 seasons, 17 discs. They're obviously, this was farmed out to MPI.
Yeah.
So they're the ones doing the DVD. The whole Girls Next Door franchise is dead. And so they're trying to squeeze one last crazy, wacky, money push out of this thing. Special features include a bonus episode, a pilot episode, some commentaries, deleted scenes, and I just think it's lame.
You're supposed to take pride in this, aren't you? The one who created this show?
No, I didn't create this show.
I know.
I did do some. I oversaw the production of, as is my job, some original internet online-only programming that was used on eOnline to support this show. And some of that stuff you can see on the individual discs, but I don't think they're on this set. I didn't see any in flipping through it. But anyway, it's Girls Next Door, complete series, 6 seasons, 17 discs. God love you if you want it because you have no taste. Okay.
There you go. Mark, the worst game show in the history of television probably is Celebrity Bowling.
No, it's awesome.
No,
come on. Celebrity Bowling?
Did you ever watch that?
Yes.
You watched Celebrity Bowling? I find this amazing.
I didn't watch it like a fiend, but yeah.
I had never heard of it. And
it was local. It was all local.
It was all local.
It was KTTV.
That's it? How do you know that?
Because
That's so
Celebrity
bizarre.
Bowling.
Good freaking grief. We were children when this thing was made. This ran for 7 years, from 1971 to 1978. I was a kid. I don't know why I never even knew about this.
I didn't live here until 76, so I missed the first 5 years of it.
I lived here all those years. I never even heard of the damn thing. It was produced at KTTV Channel 11, which is more recent, like 20 years ago, became a Fox channel. And I got to tell you, this is just so weird to me. This is Celebrity Bowling. Now, this is not the whole season or even a bunch of episodes. This is 2 very specific shows. This is the Brady's Go Bowling, what we're talking about here. I don't know what possessed someone to do this, but the people at S'more, that's S''MORE, they went and they dug up a couple of encounters on Celebrity Bowling that involved the actors from the Brady Bunch. It's just the worst show ever. I just can't believe this ran for 8 years. It's so weird.
How dare you?
It's just so strange. It's so strange. Anyway, there it is. If you want to watch the Brady Bunch from a 1970s bowling show produced locally in Los Angeles.
They revived this thing twice. In the late 80s, they did another one. And then in 2008, they did a really small, tiny syndicated
disturbing.
release.
You know what's disturbing, too? Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns. This is season 3. Good grief, this thing just gets more obnoxious with each successive season. This is almost unwatchable to me, but I guess somebody somewhere loves this thing because it just stays on the air. But I just look at this and I just think, is this progress? Because I remember the Jeffersons, and that was a really good show, and this is not a good show. But anyway, it's maybe not meant for the same audience. Who am I to judge? Anyway, that's season 3 of Meet the Browns. And then more than marginally better is Perry Mason, season 6, volume 2. Still hate the fact that they do these in separate volumes, but Raymond Burr, just one of the all-time TV greats. He was great as Ironside. He was great as Perry Mason. And this second half of season 6 is still strong. This show ran for a long time and for good reason. Even though it's a courtroom drama and you think you can only do so much with a trial every week, somehow they just kept it going. And a lot of it has to do with good casting, good writing, but mainly Raymond Burr. He's the man.
He is the man, Wade. And, there was a British show called Being Human, which was eventually remade here in the Americas and thrown onto Sci-Fi Channel and still called Being Human, and I still don't get it. It's the whole thing is that there's these 3 people. They live in Boston. They're in their there's young, the usual young, handsome kids who wind up in these like sci-fi CW type shows.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Wade. Hold on to your hats.
Huh?
One is a vampire.
Oh,
one is a werewolf. One is a ghost. But yet they have to live among us, Wade. How are they going to, how many metaphors can they use for growing up?
But
here are 3: ghost, werewolf, and vampire.
I tell you, though, that werewolf and vampire thing, that's original. That's never been done before.
No, I
that's
agree.
really sharp. I'm glad they did that.
I agree.
By the way, what's the number 1 movie in America right now?
Tree of Life.
If only. Okay.
Anyway, Being Human, not for me. You know what? I'm just tired of the whole handsome vampire thing.
6th season of Bones on Blu-ray. This is a good-looking show. I got to tell you, it's a good-looking show. Part of the reason it's good-looking people. I really like David Boreanaz and Emily Deschanel. This show is kind of grown on me, and I'm a big fan of the Deschanels. Father, daughters, mom, the whole thing. I love the whole family. I think they're great. Zoe on TV now as well. I hope that doesn't derail her film career, but that new girl thing, she's cute, adorable, really good, liking it.
She's not adorable, way. She's
adorkable, I know. Really, really cute. Anyway, Emily, of course, now a mom. Not that anyone should care, but I'm keeping up with the Deschanels. You know what I'm saying? This is the 6th season Blu-ray, looking really good. Also includes 2 extended episodes, some featurette stuff, including a thing on the visual effects, which is really interesting. I didn't realize there were as many visual effects in the show as there were. And a few audio commentaries and gag reel. Definitely cool.
Oh, wait, TV Land. What they do is in TV Land, they take a bunch of actresses who can't get work, and they give them work.
What do they do?
Well, they give it to Wendy Malick, Valerie Bertinelli, Jane Leeves, and Betty White.
Do
you really think Betty White's that hard to get? I mean, Betty White, come on, she's God love her, but she's 85 years old, or whatever she is. She's not getting steady work. No. Here comes TV Land to give her $10,000 an episode. She'll kill her family.
Oh yeah,
at 85 years old for $10,000 an episode because she's like 85. And the rest of them, too. But this show, for TV Land, by TV Land standards, show's a hit. They love the show.
It's so badly written. It really is. Have you watched any extended episode length of this thing? You'll just die. It's terrible.
Well, season 2's on DVD now.
I know.
Well, but you know what?
It's unwatchable.
Here, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry when in the first episode of season 2, Mary Tyler Moore shows up. Mary Tyler Moore, whose eponymous TV show made me want to get into news.
I know.
But they,
how the mighty have fallen. That's all I can say.
But the one thing is that they really know how to cart out the classic old, Mary Tyler Moore's in this season, John Schneider's in this season, Perry Gilpin, just John Lovitz. These people are not hard to book.
No, they're not.
It's not like, oh my God, they got Steve Lawrence.
Yeah, right. Well, anyway.
Not into it.
We do have a few movies this week. It's not a big, thick movie week, but we do have a few to talk about. And I got some Miramax catalog stuff here that's out real quick. Bee Monkey, which is kind of a scandal at the time, and not really because the movie is scandalous, but Michael Radford had done Il Postino, gotten an Oscar nomination, big hit film, and then this thing wound up getting caught in Miramax hell as he started fighting with Harvey Weinstein over all kinds of things. I remember at the time I was editing the monthly release charts for Box Office Magazine, and I cannot tell you how many different release dates Bee Monkey had over the course of about a year and a half. It was ridiculous. This thing was going to come out 87 different times, and it by the time it finally came out, nobody cared anymore. Better movie than all of that might suggest. It's kind of a strange misfire, but it's maybe the only performance I haven't hated Asia Argento in. Jared Harris is also very, very good in it. Rupert Everett, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Jared Harris is in that.
I know.
Richard Harris's son.
Yes, who tends to play really creepy parts these days.
Well, he's the villain in the new Sherlock Holmes.
That's right. He plays...
He plays Sherlock Holmes.
No, he plays Dr.
Holmes.
No, what's his name?
Yo-Yo.
Yeah, whatever. Holmes Yo-Yo. Jeez. Wow. There's a reference that no one's going to get. We're going to send we're going to get all of our listeners are going to go running over to Google Holmes Yo-Yo.
Holmes and Yo-Yo. Darn right. Do it.
Which was it was like Mel Brooks was involved in the creation of that. It was sort of a semi spin-off of Jaime from Get Smart. Right?
With John Schuck.
With John Schuck as the robot.
Check it out. Partner. And by the way, email us either to tell us how much you hate Holmes and Yo-Yo or any reason, really, at gods@digigods.com.
Yes. Well, anyway, I would almost prefer. I'd almost call this let's call this like an existentially somewhat intellectual version of La Femme Nikita. We'll leave that at that point. It's a little bit in that vein, but it's done more intelligently, and it's admittedly hard to market. But I'm glad it's out on DVD again. And then Girls in Prison, not such a great film. Ione Skye, kind of her career went kaput, and Anne Heche has kind of floated in the second tier forever.
It's so sad.
This is basically a satire of all of those women in prison films from the 70s, most of which were done by Jonathan Demme. And it's not a very good satire, to be honest. The only thing that's noteworthy about this is it was directed by John McNaughton, who is one of those guys who he had like a moment when he was like the rage, and then he just vanished.
I know. It's
just weird. These promising directors, they'll make one or two really interesting films, and then they just tank something horrible, and they vanish. I mean, what has happened to him? So sad. But anyway, if you're a fan of the films that this thing satirizes, I guess maybe it's for you, but it's a very narrow audience.
Wade, this year there was a movie called Attack the Block, which I liked a lot. And in 2010, I think, a film called Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I think this wound up getting released this year.
It did get released this year. Actually, you should have it in your screener pile as well.
I actually know what I do.
They think we're going to consider it for awards. Are they nuts?
I know.
Seriously.
The thing is, I like this movie. It's kind of funny. It's a kind of film that I would hate because I would think it wouldn't be funny or would try too hard. But I think it's cute. It's funny. It sends up all those slasher films. You know what? It's almost like it. Like Shaun of the Dead was kind of a spoof of zombie picks.
Yeah.
This is kind of a spoof of chainsaw slasher picks.
Oh, maybe I'll watch it.
And
then.
It's very violent, but it's funny. And there's a wood chipper in it, and I liked it. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Does it need to be on Blu-ray? Absolutely not. Special features include some outtakes and storyboards, commentary with the director, and it's good stuff. You know what? I'll buy it. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's funny.
Cool. Quick little shout-out for this Warner Archive Collection title here called Housewife. This is, of course, a DVD-R. You can get it at warnerarchive.com. A Warner Brothers effort from kind of the early stages of Bette Davis's career, and it's an okay film. It's not great. It's almost more of a novelty just because it's got a young, very, very tempestuous Bette Davis in it, along with George Brent and Dvorak and Johnny Hallyday. Not the Johnny Hallyday who is a French rock singer, just a guy from the era that has been long, long forgotten. It's okay. Again, if you're just a completist on Bette Davis, go check it out. But nothing to really phone home about. And then you know what, Mark? I love this movie, Our Idiot Brother. I loved Our Idiot Brother.
Really?
I'm glad it came out because it's reminded me that I actually, in our voting, I think there are some performances in here. I may just give a point or two to Paul Rudd for Best Actor in this movie.
Oh, you're gonna you will do that.
I would
if you feel like when the room finally comes around to you. And it's obviously whatever Brad Pitt or Michael Shannon or whatever it's going to be, just as a joke to see if you got a laugh in the room.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why, here's what I'm thinking I might do. When Best Picture comes around, I might throw a point to Jack and Jill.
Wouldn't that be awesome? That'd be great. No, this is terrific. Paul Rudd plays this he wants to love everybody. He just wants to be honest and truthful and loving, and he winds up trying to sell pot to a cop because he's such a nice guy. Goes to jail, comes out, gets on probation, and his three sisters have to juggle him while he's on probation and has nowhere else to stay. They are played by Elizabeth Banks Emily Mortimer, and of course the lovely Zooey Deschanel, who we talked about earlier. You know I'm all about the Deschanels. I really think this is just a fun, sweet, incredibly cool film. They changed the ending after Sundance. And I got to tell you, the new ending, better. I usually don't say that because they've ruined... I've seen a lot of Sundance films that had different endings, and they've ruined them. Just completely destroyed them after they got in a theatrical release. But in this case, I think the new ending actually works better. So that being said, you've got to check it out. It's on Blu-ray. Not a must-see on Blu-ray, but it's certainly better than the DVD. It's really, really nice, and I'm glad. Weinstein did a good job with this. So, bravo, Paul Rudd, our idiot brother. Blu-ray, get some. Also, 5 Days of War is a really interesting film that I recommend because this is maybe the best film, the only real film Rennie Harlin has ever made, and it's gotten no traction. This Rupert Friend, not my favorite actor necessarily, but he's quite good in this, actually. This is Rennie Harlin trying to make a much more serious film about a very, very serious subject matter, which is of course, the military action in former Soviet Georgia when it was caught in a clash with Russia and after the disintegration of the Soviet Union. And it's a little bit like Welcome to Sarajevo in the sense that you're focused on the actions of journalists who are trying to capture human atrocities and get news to the outside world. It sometimes veers into the action and then the sensational. You feel like Rennie Harlin can't quite give up the old Rennie Harlin and actually make a straight-up kind of serious Oscar drama. But that being said, it's as good as anything he's ever done. He's really taken a step toward doing something relevant and important and shows flourishes that I've never seen in him before as a filmmaker. So on that level, I really recommend it, and it's a really good Blu-ray also from Anchor Bay, like the Anchor Bay release of our dear brother, Weinstein Film, but Anchor Bay Blu-ray. Really good Blu-ray, very nicely done. And then the last regular film release is One Day. Mark, did you see the One Day?
Yes, and it was only about 90 minutes, but it felt like a day.
Gosh,
as you watched it.
I don't know. I really wanted to like this movie because Lone Scherfig is a terrific director. I love her. And Education was her first big film, and it was so good.
Yep.
And the idea here is really cool. I mean, that we revisit this one day that this couple spends together over and over and over. That they meet one day, right? You see their relationship over the course of a period of time, but it's only one day.
But it's almost flawed on its face because
that's a conceit that you can't pull off.
Yeah, and you're not really seeing the arc of the relationship. All you're seeing is these huge fragmented moments,
and you got to fill in the blanks.
Right.
You got to sort of put the mortar in yourself. And, I mean, it's ambitious. I wish it were better, but I feel like it could have been better if they had cast someone who actually could pull off the English accent. Anne Hathaway, not good.
You know what Anne Hathaway is? Delicious. Although I heard she was getting married.
You're a big fan of hers.
I heard she was getting married.
Is she?
Not to me.
Yeah, clearly. Anyway.
Maybe it's not clearly. Maybe I was in second position.
Yeah.
Maybe she was deciding between me and whoever she's going to marry.
Well,
you ever think of that?
This is on Blu-ray and DVD. And it's got a few featurettes on it, some deleted scenes, and then a Lone Scherfig commentary that is actually better than the film. Lone Scherfig is wonderful. I just want her to do some great films, but I get worried whenever a great director has a film that just kind of doesn't sort of work, because then they, especially if you're a woman, the standards are so much higher. They're not forgiving of women directors. Well,
especially if it's your second film, because now the industry doesn't know, did you get lucky with the first one? And you're really not a good director? Or did you just have a misfire and we'll give you another shot?
True.
That's why, two of the best women directors are out of England, or out of the UK right now. Lynn Ramsey and the other one, Lynn Ramsey and...
I got to watch that film tonight,
Andrea
by the way.
Arnold, huh?
Andrea Arnold, really good.
I know.
Yeah, I got to watch that Lynn Ramsey film tonight, too.
Okay, can we say something that's not about
sure.
DVDs and
Sure.
Blu-rays? Okay, the Lynn Ramsey film. There's a choice.
We got to talk about Kevin. Let's not talk about Kevin. Something about Kevin. What's the title of it? How's it go? There's something about Kevin.
Yeah.
There's something about Kevin and Mary.
We have to talk about Kevin.
We have to talk about Kevin. That's it. Not a good title.
Okay. There's a choice that she makes in steering one of the performances.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a choice that she makes in steering one of the performances that I totally understand, but I couldn't stop laughing.
Seriously?
Yes.
Really?
That really ruined my experience watching the movie.
My goodness.
Now, you don't know what I'm talking about.
I guess I'll know when
You'll
I see
know.
it. Did you see Beautiful Boy, by the way?
No.
See, those two movies are basically about the same thing, you know.
A kid dies in something or
In
kills
the-
somebody. Kill somebody. Or,
Yeah, and the parents are like, it's the trauma that the parents deal with. But in Beautiful Boy, I got to tell you, and I'm dying to see Tilda Swinton's performance because I love Swinton. I love Tilda. I'm all about Tilda. If Tilda were a Deschanel, it would make my life. But I'll tell you, Beautiful Boy is a hell of a film.
Really?
Yeah, it really is. It's a hell of a film.
Well, but you know what Lynn Ramsey's sensibilities are, so you know how that story will be presented.
Sure.
As a Lynn Ramsey film.
The thing that makes Beautiful Boy is Maria Bello, who with Michael Sheen they play the parents, and it's about how it tears the marriage apart and brings them together and tears them apart, and But I'll tell you, Maria Bello is awfully good in it, and I just think she's gotten such a shaft in her career. So I'm curious to see the two mother performances. I am. Let's knock some concert and music stuff out of here real quickly. Blu-ray Deep Purple with orchestra. I love Deep Purple. I'll tell you, Smoke on the Water. Come on, give it up. This is from Eagle Eye Media. It's on Blu-ray, live at Montreux in 2011, and there's just fabulous stuff here. Deep Purple, one of the great bands of the 60s and 70s. Just so fabulous here. It was really, really cool. Some of the tracks that they just let rip in fantastic fashion. Contact Lost, When a Blind Man Cries, Lazy, No One Came. Apart from, Smoke on the Water, of course, is here. It's way down at the end. But, come on, they do a lot of great stuff. Maybe I'm a Leo. It's a good band. Love them. Really, really good. New York Dolls, looking fine on television. This is, if you've seen New York Doll, the really great documentary, you will love this. New York Dolls, obviously not everybody's cup of tea. They're part of that whole glam rock thing in the 70s. But
love them. David Johansen.
I tell you, David Johansen, before he became Buster Poindexter and various other things, he's just a weird dude.
They were sort of like punk before punk.
Yeah, but these are all kinds of really rare clips and interviews that were filmed by Bob Gruen and Nadia Beck. And it includes a lot of really rare early stuff that I just don't think anybody has seen before. So it's, for fans of the New York Dolls, pretty terrific. Also includes a 1976 interview with David Johansen and Johnny Thunders. Johnny Thunders.
Without New York Dolls, there wouldn't be like
I know.
Blondie or the Ramones.
Oh, I know.
Whatever.
I know. It was they pioneered. They pioneered, baby. I'm also a big fan of Pablo Francisco. He does a lot of funny impressions. He's got a new disc out here that was originally on Comedy Central. They put it out there. It's just Pablo just doing his thing, and he's funny. It's good stand-up. Really good stand-up. One of the guys that keeps it real for a long time.
Steve Winwood live in concert. This is an artist who had a great moment.
Loved him in the 80s.
In the 80s, and kind of fell out of favor, but he's got a great voice, and he's a terrific guitarist and a good songwriter. And there's a bunch of good stuff here. It's on Blu-ray and DVD. You'll hear Back in the High Life Again, probably his most famous song.
Yeah.
And Can't Find My Way Home, another one of his most famous songs.
Totally.
Good stuff here. Not a very well put together DVD, kind of cheap packaging, but still, it is good stuff. Steve Winwood live in concert.
Absolutely. I like the Blu-ray. It's nice. And then Blu-ray of God Bless Ozzy Osbourne. I bet you never thought you'd hear those words. God Bless Ozzy Osbourne. This is a documentary about the man I never thought they would actually make a documentary about. It was at Tribeca Film Festival this year, and it's actually surprisingly good. It gets inside. I never really thought I'd want to know this much about Ozzy, but after having seen the Osbournes on television, it's like, how much more can there be? Really, we've just seen inside your life all the way to the core. But actually, this is kind of not sensationalized, and it's got some pretty frank moments in it. So I was really compelled. I got to tell you, they found some angles to Ozzy that I really thought were pretty cool. It doesn't really need to be Blu-ray necessarily, but I'm glad it is, kind of.
Wait.
Yes.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Before you pick that up,
yes.
I want you to open up this Netflix Netflix envelope and tell me what
you
movie,
got from Netflix.
What did I get from Netflix, Wade?
How the hell do these things open? Open along edge.
Give me that. Okay, fine.
Hold on. I got it here.
Tell me what it is.
What is this? What did you get from Netflix? You got Rush Beyond the Lighted Stage.
Yeah, a documentary about Rush, Wade. Now, why did I have you open this on the show?
Because it's one of the titles we're talking about this week.
No. This is a different one. This is Rush Time Machine.
Oh.
This is a DVD. Rush Time Machine live in Cleveland,
Yes.
2011. Now, I'm a big fan of the Rush, Wade.
I know you are.
As you can tell, because
Yeah.
I just
Absolutely.
owned their DVD. Rush Time
Neil
Machine.
Peart much?
Huh?
Neil Peart much?
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
These guys, I've seen them live. They are a terrible stage presence.
Yes.
They're amazing musicians, all three of them.
Tom Sawyer.
And this
Today's
is,
Tom Sawyer.
There's two sets. Tom Sawyer's in here, of course. Limelight, The Camera Eye, YYZ, Closer to the Heart, the whole thing. Everything's in here. And it's great. It's great. The only thing that's not in here that I would have liked is the Big Money. Big Money not in here. But the rest is Rush Time Machine 2011. Great. I wish it was on Blu-ray because I really would have liked to see it totally high def. But it's good.
Bravo.
I love it. I love Rush.
Rock on. All right, with that, we are done. We will be back next week with our holiday show. Tune in for Big Holiday Show next week. Lots of great, cool titles. And if you want to email us as always, at gods@digigods.com. And visit the Facebook page. Please make comments. And as always, we welcome audio listener mail. If you want to make a recording, we will include it on the show. See you next week.